Hi, welcome back to Hollie Hobbies. Let me show you how to make a stunning nativity wreath, which will be a perfect addition to your Christmas decor. This wreath is a lovely way to celebrate the birth of Jesus and add a touch of warmth and tradition to your home. Get ready to spread the joy and the meaning of the season by making your very own nativity wreath. So gather your supplies and let's get started. Hi, welcome back to Hollie Hobbies. Today we're going to be doing another nativity wreath, and this is going to be a one roll deco mesh that we're going to use. And I love this. I've had this from last year. I believe I got it from Hobby Lobby, and it's just so pretty. We're going to use a 14-inch wire wreath frame. This one's from the Dollar Tree. This beautiful nativity scene. This one's from Hobby Lobby. I also have some wood stars. We're going to add a few stars to our design. You can get these I got at Hobby Lobby. And I have a snow flocked pick ornament here that we're going to use some of these to add to our design. And I have some antique gold paint. We're going to use a little white for the star. You can use Mod Podge or a tacky glue. And then we're also going to add some beautiful glitter. And then some ribbon of your choice. And I believe we're going to use this ribbon. So let's get started. So we're going to start with this gold acrylic or gold antique paint. And we're going to paint our sign. And we're just going to give it just a quick and easy layer here. And I'm just using a foam brush. And we're just going to spruce it up a little bit here. So I'm going to go over this sign. There's no right or wrong. You're just going to give it a layer just to give it a little bit extra here. And we'll just leave the star because we're going to go over that with a white. And we're going to take this white paint of your choice. I found this at the Dollar Tree. And we're going to paint our star. Just going to give it some color there. So while that star is drying, we're going to move this off to the side. And we're going to just paint some of these stars here. And let's just do a few with that same antique gold here. Now let's do that same thing on this star. I was going to use tacky glue, but I think I'm just going to spray this. All right, like that. And then we're going to do the same thing with our glitter on our star here. And we're just giving it that extra bling there. Okay, so we have our glitter on our star. We have some gold glitter on our little stars here. And we're going to put all this off to the side. and we're going to get ready to create our design. So we're going to get started with our 14-inch wire wreath frame. I have this from the Dollar Tree. And we're going to prep our wreath form. We have the 14 inches divided into 6 sections, and we're going to be doing 3 pipe cleaners per section. So I always name them from the outside going in. We have bar 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first one we're going to connect on, we're going to bring it up on the number 3 and number 4, and we're going right in the middle of the 2 crossbars. And we'll give that a twist, a couple twists. And the other ones are going to be connected on the bar 1 and 2. And we're going on just like so. And we're doing 3 per section. So we're going on each side of the 1 and 2, and we're going to bars 3 and 4. And so that is how we're going to connect them for each section. Let's do another one together using bars 3 and 4. We're giving a couple twists. And bars 1 and 2. And I'm going to go and prep the rest of our sections. So we have our wreath frame, our 14-inch wire wreath frame prepped with our 3 chenille stems per section, giving us a total of 18 pipe cleaners on our 14-inch wire wreath frame. We're going to put this off to the side. And now we're going to get ready to prep our 1 roll of deco mesh. So this is a really pretty mesh I got from Hobby Lobby last year in the Christmas section. So we're going to prep our mesh into 20-inch pieces, and we're going to cut this whole roll of mesh here. You can use your scissors, your rotary cutter, however you want to do it. So I'm going to prep my mesh and put it off to the side, and we're going to go through this whole roll. 20-inch pieces. I love my new scissors. I got them off Amazon. They've been on my list, and they do not disappoint. They are a heavy-duty crafting scissors. I have all my favorite crafting supplies, the links in the description box of all my tutorials. And I'm going to go through and cut this whole roll of mesh, and then we'll be right back. So I'm opening up one more roll because I only came out with 17 pieces, and we need 18 pieces to do our design. So I'm going to go into this other roll. And now we have our 18 pieces of mesh that's cut here. And we're going to get started attaching those to our 14-inch wire wreath frame. So we're going to start doing attaching our 20-inch pieces of mesh here. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a ruffle method. And let me move some of these over here so we have some room to work. And I just love this mesh. It has these beautiful little white, they look like little snowballs to me. And we are going to attach our 20-inch pieces of mesh. We're going to start laying it on our mat, curl side down. And we're going to do a very basic, simple ruffle method. And all is we're going to do is we're going to walk our fingers, pinching and grabbing straight down that middle of the mesh. That's it. That's all we're doing. And we're making this cute ruffle here that we're going to place. We're going to start on this outside chenille stem, and we're going to stick it right there in the chenille stem, and we're going to give it a couple twists. Very simple. And look at it, created this beautiful ruffle here. And we're going to continue around our wreath frame with this other 17 pieces of 20-inch mesh, and we're going to go in a zigzag pattern. So let's do another one together. And this one's going to go on the inside one now. We're on the outside. We're going to the inside, the outside, the inside. We're just going to continue in a zigzag pattern. So I'm going to walk my fingers right up that center of my mesh here. And if it starts curling on you too much, you can always put a weight down at the bottom till you get to the end. I have this cute little curled ruffle. And now I'm coming to this inside. I'm on the outside, and now I'm coming to my inside here, my chenille stem, and I'm going to place that right there. And we're going to give it a couple twists. And I'm going to continue in that pattern. Look how cute this is with this mesh. I love it. It has a little bit of sheen to it. It has some texture, and it's just a gorgeous mesh. And now I'm going to go back to that outside with this next one, walking my fingers down the middle as I'm pinching, pleating, and grabbing into a beautiful ruffle. And now I'm coming to the outside of my chenille stem of my wire wreath frame, and we're giving it a couple twists. And I'm going to continue that same pattern. I'm going to go back to the inside, the outside, until I make it all the way around my wreath. So I added all the deco mesh, all the 20-inch strips of deco mesh. We added it to our 14-inch wire wreath frame. We added 18 pieces, and this is what our base looks like. We have a beautiful ruffle base that is just a gorgeous technique. It's a little bit different than your pancake ruffle, but it's a lot fluffier, and just look at how pretty this is. So now what we're going to do is flip our wreath over. And remember how we have the 6 chenille stems on the inside? We are going to grab those chenille stems. You just got to find your way through the mesh here. Right there. And we're going to pull those up around each side of our bar on the back side, and we're giving it a few twists, about a 1/2 inch or so. And you're going to grab your wire clippers, and we'll clip those off. We are not going to be using any of those, so we're just going to get rid of them right now from coming up the front. And You just have to kind of feel your way for them. You know where they are. You just got to bring them up this back side, connect them on that number 4 bar, and finish those off. And I'm just going to go around and finish off all of them. So we have the 6 inner chenille stems on that inner part of our wire wreath frame. We have them pulled to the back side, wrapped around the number 4 bar, and clipped off. So we have those out of our way. We're not going to be using those again. And now we're going to attach our nativity wreath sign here. You can do any sign of your choice. I just love doing nativity wreaths during the Christmas season, and this is one of my absolute favorite ones. I get this from Hobby Lobby, and I just think it's just gorgeous. I just love the cutout of it and the detail, and it's going to go really well in this design. So we're going to get ready and attach this to our wire wreath frame. We are now going to prep our nativity sign, and I have 2 floral stems. I'm going to take out my silicone mat here because I have ruined plenty of these mats by getting hot glue on them. And so this time I bought this little mat and I love it. We're going to divide our floral stems in half, and we're going to prep the back of the sign. If you want, you can use the little holes here and put some wire through them that way, but I don't want that to show on the sign. So we're going to prep them this way. I have a couple little pieces of felt scraps here that we're going to put on top of the floral wire, and that is just going to give it a little extra reinforcement. So let's go ahead and get this ready. I also have my silicone fingertips, which a lot of these things we don't need, but boy, do they make crafting life so much easier. And I do have the links of all my favorite crafting supplies in the description box and all my tutorials. And I'm going to add some hot glue. I'm going to add my floral stem, and I'm going to put a piece of felt, a little felt scrap right there on top. And we're just going to push it down with my silicone fingertip. And let that dry. I'm going to do that same thing to the other side. And that felt scrap, it just makes it a little extra sturdy than just relying on the floral wire and the glue. It just gives it that little extra that we need there. All right, so there's that. Okay, we're going to let this dry, and then we are going to attach it to our wire wreath frame. We're getting ready to attach our sign. We have everything has dried, so we're going to bend our floral wire up, and we're going to use those to attach to our wreath. So on this one, we want it to go a little bit higher because we're going to add a big, beautiful bow here at the bottom. So we don't want it exactly in the center. And let's see here. I'm going to go do something like this. So we're going to take our floral wire, and we're just going to bring it through the middle here. And we'll grab it with our hand underneath. Let's get this in there too. And we're going to do something like that. And we just want to get it through. Don't push it through your mesh. We just want to get it through those layers there on the sides of those bundles. There we go. So see how you can't see that, and we just want to make sure everything is the right way that we want it before we attach it. So I'm just using my hand underneath. I'm making my way through those to the sides of those bundles there. Right around like so. So let's flip it over. Let's make sure that we get this in between. See how it's right there in between the bundles, our ruffle bundles, and I want to go on each side of the wire wreath frame. And right now I'm on the number 3 bar. Let me just give it a couple twists and to make sure that that is a good placement. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to come around that number 3 bar, just like so. Give it a couple twists, and we're going to flip it over to make sure that we like it before we secure it for good. And we want it floating right there on top, and oh, look how pretty that is going to look. Our star, and oh, I just in love with that antique gold. I think it's such a beautiful paint, and it gives it that perfect look. So now we are going to attach our floral wire for good, and we're twisting it about 1/2 an inch or so, 3/4 of an inch. We're clipping that off, and then we're going to bend this in half, and we're going to bend it in half again and get that out of the way. We're going to do the same thing for the other side. Twisting, twisting, bending it in half, and we're bending it in half. So we're going to flip that over, and look at how beautiful that nativity sign looks on top of this mesh. And I really love this technique, this ruffle technique, when you have a really pretty mesh to work with. I think it really highlights the mesh and brings out all the colors and the textures, and it's just a great design when you really want to highlight a beautiful, beautiful mesh like this. Okay, so now we are going to move on to our next phase here. So before we move on, I want to use these fairy lights. We're going to attach them to the upper half of our wreath, and that's going to give it a beautiful starry sky. What we're going to do is we're going to start by attaching this first, and we're going to flip it over. And we are going to use some zip ties, and we're just going to zip tie it right here to our frame. I'm just going to go between the number 2 and 3, underneath the 2 and the 3. And we'll do a couple of those. And I just have 2. If you want to do a third one, just to make sure you got it really good, that's up to you, but I think that's going to be just fine. And then you still can get to the switch here. So now what we're going to do is going to flip that over, and I'm just going to leave my lights on. We're just going to do this top half with our lights, and we have these chenille stems that are already in our design, and so we're just going to use those. We're just going to come inside the ruffle here. All right, so we're just going to come in between the 2 lights, and then we can give it a twist. And we're just going to keep stringing these along into our design here. And those make it really handy there. Just kind of come around your ruffles, whatever you want to do. There's no right or wrong, but these chenille stems make it real handy to secure those lights in there. So I'm going to come around. I'll bring one up, and then I'll bring another up. I'm just bending it in half and bringing it through that middle hole. And it looks really cool. Maybe we can do a third. Let's see if we can get one more up there. Yep. So we'll do 3 of those lights that are just coming. And at night, it looks so pretty coming up through that star like that. So I'm going to keep stringing these along. All right, so now we have our nativity sign attached to our wreath frame. We have our fairy lights on the top half. We've used our chenille stems to help attach those. And now we're going to move on to a big, beautiful bow that we're going to put down here at the bottom. And we're going to go ahead and start our bow. And I think this ribbon is so pretty. It is a 2.5 inch ribbon. It has a wired edge, and look at that beautiful gold sheen. It's just going to look gorgeous in our wreath design. And we're going to make a 4 loop bow, and we are going to do 12-inch tail. Going to pinch and grab in the middle, and we will twist it because it's a one-sided ribbon. And we're going to do 6-inch loops. So we're coming, I have it right here at the 10-inch mark. And we're going to go to the 22-inch, and that'll be 12 inches, which will give us a 6-inch loop. And we're going to do that on the other side, making sure we twist our ribbon to get it on the good side. We twisted it to the bad side, so when we fold it over, it's on that good side. We'll go over here to the 22 and we'll bring it to the 10, and that is our 12 inches. And all as we're doing is we're making 6-inch loops here. And we're twisting that again. And this is a real basic bow. We're going back to our 22 inches, 12-inch, which gives us a 6-inch. And you could do a 2-loop, you could do a 3-loop, whatever you want to do for your bow is going to be completely up to you. We just want to make a beautiful bow at the bottom there. And coming back this way, we go to our 22-inch, and we bring it to the 10. And I'm just debating if I want to keep it a 2 or 3. Let's just keep it as a 2, and then we'll do our 12-inch tail here. And we will dovetail it at the end. And look at how gorgeous this is going to look on our design. So I'm going to grab a floral wire. I really love using floral wires, because then you can use them to attach to your design. And we're going to take our bow off here. We're going to grab it in the middle with our floral wire, bringing it upside down, and we're bending it in half and twisting it at the base of our ribbon bundle. And we have this gorgeous 4-loop bow that we can adjust when we get it on our design. And then we'll do our dovetails then as well. And now we're going to get ready to attach our bow. We're going to use our floral wire here, and we're going to put it just at the base of our nativity, right around so. So let's just go through those little bundles of mesh and come underneath with our finger, and we find an opening. There's my fingers right there. I'm gonna grab my floral wire, and I see that bar right there. I'm making sure that wire goes on each side of the wreath frame. You just want to secure that with a few twists, but before I clip that off, I want to make sure that I like the placement. Oh, that ribbon is just gorgeous. Now I have it, I don't think I want to pull it so tight, so I'm going to lift it up a little bit. I don't want it sunk so deep into the design. So let me untwist it. That's why I don't twist it, really do the final twist until I have it the way I want it. And I'm just pulling that up a little bit so it's not sunken in so much. And look at that gorgeous ribbon there. So we've placed our gorgeous 4-loop bow here on our wreath frame, and we used our floral wire to attach it. And I'm just going to give it a few twists, cut that off. It's about 1.5 inches, and then I'll just twist that finished part around the bar just to give it a little extra security there. And we'll flip it back over, and oh, that's so pretty. We'll dovetail the ends when we're done, just to keep them really nice. All right, so now we're going to move on to decorating. And next we're going to take our same ribbon, and we're going to make 5 12-inch pieces. And this is just a little time saver. We're going to do a fan fold. There's 2. 3. 4. And that way we can cut it and dovetail it at the same time. And that really just saves time. And you're just doing 2 things at once. So we've got that fan folded into 5. We're going to take each section here. Not only is it cutting the end off here, it's dovetailing at the same time, which is saving us time and it's saving us a step. So we're going to do each side here. And it just, instead of doing each individual, doing 5, dovetailing, it just speeds up the process here. 5, and we have them dovetailed. It almost looks like it's 2-sided ribbon. We probably could have got away with not twisting that bow because it looked like it was 1-sided. But anywho, we have 5 here that we are going to attach. We're still using those chenille stems, and we are going to attach. We have 12, so we're going to do every other one, not going to do it here where the bow is, and we're going to attach those to our wreath frame. So we're going to take our 12-inch bow. We're going to pinch and grab right down the middle and fold it towards us. We're basically folding that in half, and then we have this beautiful little piece of ribbon here. And I'm going to put that right into the chenille stem. Gonna just put it right there, and we're gonna give this a couple twists. And then we have another little accent here. And just trim this a little bit right there. So I'm going to do every other one. I'm going to skip that one, and now I'll attach it, the next one there. Pinching and grabbing. We're folding it in half, and then we're placing it in our chenille stem. And it's going to just give it a little extra pizzazz. This ribbon is so beautiful, we might as well showcase it a little bit more there. And I'm going to keep adding my ribbon on every other one. And now we've added those 5 12-inch dovetail ribbon pieces. And we went on every other chenille stem, and look at how just absolutely gorgeous our design is turning out. Now we're going to add a lot of really fun accents, and we are just going to spice this up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to finish off our chenille stems that we haven't used. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to finish off all of them actually, and we're just going to do that same thing. We're going to bring them to the back side of our wreath. Going to pull them through this way. You can just flip it over if you want. And we're going to make sure we bring them to the back side. We're going to bring them around one of the bars, and we're just going to wrap it around any of those bars that you see. This one I'm going to use the number 2, and I'm just going to go around and finish off all the chenille stems, pulling them to the back side, twisting them a 1/2 inch, clipping them down, and pushing them towards the wreath. And see, I have that one finished, and I'm going to finish off these ones on the bows as well. So I have finished off all the chenille stems and brought them through the back side, made sure they're wrapped around the wire wreath frame and cut off. And I'm not sure what I'm going to use, but I have a bunch of different fun floral picks, and I'm going to cut these off, and we're going to use various floral picks to add to our design. So I'll just like cut like that, and then we can have different elements that we will add to our design. And these are just so pretty, and they have all different, I love these little flocked ones. And we'll just cut those. So I'm going to prep my florals, and then we're going to start adding them to our design. So I've prepped some of my floral picks that I found that I liked with different textures, a lot of that snowy flock, and we're going to just have some fun and add them to our design. So what we're going to do is just have some fun. I'm going to add, first I'm just going to add them before I glue them to make sure that that's where I like them. And we're just going to add a nice little evergreen snowy touch around the nativity scene here. And we'll do something like that. And we're just going to have fun. We are going to make sure we like it, and then we will add the hot glue. And I'm just going to start by adding some of these. My greenery, my evergreen. And then when we like that position, we're going to go ahead and get some hot glue, and we're going to glue those in. And then we're just going to keep adding to our design. And we're just going to have fun. We're getting our elements the way that we want, and then we will hot glue them to our design. I like to add some fun stuff in the center here of the bow. And I'm really loving how this is turning out. We have these beautiful little flocked branches that we're going to add as well. And I'm going to hot glue those in. And we are just having fun. We're playing around with our design. And this is turning out absolutely gorgeous. And it has so many textures. And it just really adds to that beautiful nativity scene here. And everything just goes so well together. And I added all those different elements. I could keep going and going, but I think that this is going to be the final finishing touch. And let me, ooh, we have another one of these. See what I mean? I could just keep going and going. Let's add that one. We'll add that one right there. All right. And that completes the last finishing touches on this gorgeous nativity wreath. And I'm so happy that you came to my channel and crafted with me today, and that you'll come back and craft with me some more. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow me for more wreath and crafting ideas. Thanks for watching Hollie Hobbies, from my heart to yours. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow for more wreath and crafting ideas. Thanks for watching Hollie Hobbies, from my heart to yours.